Los Angeles, dozens of protesters took to the streets of downtown Los Angeles on Saturday, nearly 1 year after the election of Donald Trump as president spurred massive demonstrations across the U.S. The group Refuse Fascism called for protests against the Trump administration in several major cities on Saturday, including Los Angeles. Protesters, many of whom wore shirts that either simply said no or Black Lives Matter, began filling Pershing Square around 12:30 p.m. in advance of the expected rally. Perry Hoberman, an associate research professor at the University of Southern California, is among the event's organizers. He said the date of the march was chosen in part to coincide with the anniversary of Trump's November 8, 2016, election victory in the hope that it would energize others to stand up to what he sees as the administration's racist and divisive policies. There's clearly this process of fatigue and normalization, he said. On the one hand, you almost get used to what they are doing. About 24 Trump supporters near 5th and Hill Streets voiced support for the far-right media outlet InfoWars and opposition to communism while waving American flags. Police established a line between the rival groups. "You're on the side of evil," yelled one Trump supporter holding a bullhorn. "We are on the side of good." Only one arrest had been made as of 2 p.m., authorities said. An anti-Trump demonstrator was seen being led away in handcuffs after he tried to go around a police skirmish line while screaming about fighting the president's supporters. The groups were largely reduced to screaming at one another across 5th Street, separated by a large contingent of officers and yellow tape. Some of the Trump supporters screamed brown supremacists at their rivals, and a few could be seen arguing with pedestrians as the anti-Trump crowd prepared to march. Police shut down Hill Street between 5th and 6th Streets, where demonstrators set up stands to pass out literature, and a stage was erected for speakers to address the rally. The group was then expected to begin marching through downtown at 2 p.m. The route the march would take was unclear. An increased police presence was visible throughout downtown on Saturday morning, with groups of officers on several streets adjacent to Pershing Square. The event was promoted by the group Refuse Fascism using the hashtag number #NOV4ITBEGINS, which Hoberman denied was a call for violence. He said figures on the extreme right had deliberately misinterpreted the hashtag to portray the protest as the beginning of a civil war. The right has used the fact that it's not specific to fill in the blanks with whatever they want, Hoberman said. The event comes days before the one-year anniversary of Trump's surprise election night victory, which sparked a week of demonstrations that spread across downtown, into Westlake and onto the 101 freeway at times, snarling traffic and drawing a large response from local law enforcement agencies. LA police arrested 462 people during 5 days of demonstrations that were disruptive but largely non-violent, drawing condemnation from civil liberties groups who said the department's tactics were overly aggressive and could stifle free speech at future events. The department's arrest tally far outpaced those in other major cities that saw unrest, including Oakland and Portland, or Despite the hundreds of arrests, a Los Angeles Times analysis found criminal charges were upheld in just 3 of those cases. Saturday's demonstrations will be the first test for a controversial new ordinance approved by the city council earlier this week. The ordinance, sponsored by Councilman Mitchell Englander, prohibits a wide array of items from being carried at demonstrations, including some weapons that are already illegal to possess in public, such as swords and martial arts devices. Protesters are also banned from carrying pepper spray, baseball bats, glass bottles, stun guns and other potentially dangerous items in the wake of clashes in Berkeley, Charlottesville, Virginia. And other cities. The American Civil Liberties Union has criticized the ordinance, arguing that it criminalizes the possession of items that are otherwise legal to carry outside the context of political speech, and that it limits speech by restricting the kinds of sign-making materials that can be used during marches.